Hi everyone, welcome back for another Tuesday Tech Tip. Today we're going to talk about something just a little bit different. We are going to be talking about security, both internet security and email security, to keep both you safe and your computer safe and the overall network safe as well. So I want to run through just a few different things of ways that you can protect yourself. Okay? All right, so first of all, and we've probably heard this one before, we need to make sure that we're protecting our workstations. Now, if you're at the elementary school, I know things are kind of up all the time, but if you leave the room, you really should be locking those, especially at the middle school, high school levels, district levels. You do want to make sure that you're locking your workstation. So, even if you log off or you just head back to the login screen so that someone would have to enter a password in order to get in. So they don't have access to all of your files. That's just really good practice. Second of all, I want to make sure that you are that you're changing your passwords and that you're really, really careful about where you're putting them. Right? I know a lot of people, because we do change our passwords often, that we're leaving our passwords in a place where people can see them. So be really, really careful about that. Right? When you change your password, make sure if you need to put it in your phone where it's locked down already, right? Maybe you're putting it in your notes in your phone and then you can just unlock it. That's fine. But leaving it under your keyboard or leaving it somewhere around the outside of your computer, not really okay. Okay, be very careful about that. Um, Third, make sure that you're being very careful and you're handling the data that you're given carefully as well. And make sure that you are being careful, especially in elementary school. I would say be careful about creating accounts for your kids. Definitely middle school, high school as well. I know in those situations in middle school and high school, kids are creating accounts themselves a lot. And as long as they're over 13, they do have the right to do that. And if they're under the age of 13, though, you need to be very careful with laws regarding all of that, right? So just be very careful about creating accounts. If there's some sort of account that you think you want to create for your kids, maybe just contact the IT department, contact one of the tech people, and we'll be able to help you out with that as well. So those are just some things that you can definitely do on that end of things. Now, let me get into this. Email practices, right? Be very, very careful about email. A lot of the times, if you're seeing, maybe you've probably heard of these things before, where there are people getting into your account, or they're called phishing schemes, right? And I'm going to jump on and I'm going to tell you just a little bit about that. So basically, a phishing email, they're trying to get information from you in some way. So you'll get an email. Sometimes they look very legitimate, right? These emails that you receive, you get these, and it looks like it's from a person that maybe you know, because that does happen as well. But actually, it's coming from a completely different email address that maybe is very similar to something that you're used to seeing, but it's a little bit different in some way. So inside of this email, there could be links, right? There could be attachments. There could be things that just look a little sketchy, or they look like something that probably is just a little bit off, right? Be very careful about those. The one way that I would tell you to look at that is if you're looking at that email and it looks like, check the email, actually who it's coming from, right? Maybe if there's a letter or two off, it's definitely not from the person that you're looking from. Sometimes I do see as well that you could see like the if you're a .org organization, it could maybe say potentially .edu or something else, right? .com. There are emails that are coming from somebody else completely, and they're looking to get information from you. So be very careful. If anything looks out of the ordinary, just don't click on anything, right? So I'll talk about a couple of those things that you can do. First of all, like I said, just be very careful about sending sensitive information through email at all, right? So if you're looking to send something that you're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't send this, maybe just like call the person or talk to the person, and that'll be helpful. So be very careful about sending actual like sensitive information through email to anyone. Also, before you're clicking on a link or an attachment, just make sure that, like I said, it is from the person that you think that you're supposed to be having that conversation with. If there is something that is a little bit suspicious, just report it, okay? Let somebody know. Just say, hey, I don't think this is quite right. Don't forward the email. Maybe just call up and be like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. What do you think about this? So just be careful. Be careful with that as well. If you do click on something, okay, so I'm telling you right now, don't click on anything suspicious. However, if you did, definitely make sure you contact someone right away so we can make sure that we have people in place who can make sure that everything is okay with, again, your computer, with that device, but then also the bigger network as well. Okay. So keep those things in mind. If you have questions about any of the things that I just talked about, you can let us know, and we would be happy to answer those questions. All right. We'll see you next Tuesday.